But in Boya and Bamenda, we have Anglo-Saxon University. It means that in this other university in the French part of Cameroon, students have the choice to study in English and in French and to write their scripts in English and in French. But in the Anglophone Saxon universities of Bamenda and Boya, you are supposed as an obligation and as an Anglophone tradition to write and to speak in English. All the lecturers are supposed to lecture in English. Now, we saw something happen during this time of the COVID, where they had to give online classes, where we had lecturers who were lecturing in French. I think a lot of people made a mockery of that, and we saw something coming. And this is actually that pregnant woman that is being delivered of that baby, and that baby is going to be born in Akonolinga. We need to be very careful, and that is why we are saying that the Anglophone needs to guard vehemently and guard very, very keenly what is theirs. Yes, because the Anglophone crisis has come to take a lot of things from them. I know that this is the brainchild. This is an outcome of the Anglophone crisis, whereby many Francophones children cannot more go to Boya, they cannot more go to Bamenda, and they have now they envy the Anglo-Saxon education, and for them to have this, to continue to have this in the midst of the Anglophone crisis, which they have refused to solve, they've decided to have an annex in Yaoundé, and we think that it is not a right thing to do.
It's not the right thing to do. Damai Jarvis, you are reading of the appreciation of that decision by your colleagues, journalists.
I think that some journalists welcome the idea. Some were still to understand the rationale why refusing the creation, because they gave an instance that ENS Bambili is an annex, but however others were of the opinion that it's a good start and is not just only going to expand the tentacles of the university, but it's also going to give other divisions the ability to house these universities and other businessmen and women to make use of these department that will be sent there. Remember that, Mr. Liu, expanding or taking these other department or faculties to different divisions, this is something that was raised when the University of Bamenda was about to be created, when we were told that I think it will be located between the Wadaland, and that some faculties will be distributed in different localities. This is Cameroon will not be the first, and University of Boya will not be the first to do so, to decongest the university. I think that such an effort of the chiefs first should be appreciated, because it's difficult to have all these faculties and all in one campus. At the end of the day, there is no kind of specialization, and some departments don't have that urge to do what they are supposed to do. Take, for instance, the department or the faculty of agriculture and natural resources. This is a faculty that needs lots of land, needs a lot of surface area for construction, and also the department of geology. Those who are doing geology, they need a lot of land and all those kind of stuff like that. Now, if they are sent as per regions which has some of the features of the things they are doing, it will go a long way to give them that experience, the student that experience. And secondly, it will help parents who somehow cannot afford for accommodation in Boya to afford for accommodation in some localities, because remember that the more concentrated that the faculties are, the more expensive the lodging and other facilities become. But imagine that if it has been decongested, you will not have a problem for someone to study, let's say in the Med division, for someone maybe let's say to study in Jan division, for someone to study in the BLM division. So I believe that some journalists saw this as an opportunity to decongest the university per se. However, it should not just only end at the level of the books, because Mr. Kum, you understand that the university, as John Ako said, and also Michael Demancho, the Anglo-Saxon culture, the culture in itself. So having a University of Akonolinga, UB Annex at Akonolinga, is like exporting the culture. I don't know, it's a two-way blessing though, because it's like exposing the Anglo-Saxon culture to the French region for the people to experience, and also giving the pretext of the French culture to take dominance over the English culture. Many people come to Boya or go to the Southwest region or go to the Northwest region. It's not just because of the education, but because of the Anglo-Saxon culture, because they want to experience live the reality. But taking it now to Akonolinga, I think that is reducing the Anglo-Saxon culture. There are three effects: one, the economic effect; two, the social effect; three, the political effect. We are in the midst of a crisis that is the Northwest and Southwest region crisis. crisis, what people have been captured, or people have captured the Anglophone crisis. Now, taking it to Akonolinga is like what we call a catalyst, which is further activating the rate of this conflict. But now, taking it now to other divisions, we can say that yes, it's a mitigating circumstance that will reduce the tension that plagued other regions, and also it will help to reduce the tension, because some division may say this is coming to our side, let's reduce the tension and welcome this initiative. Remember that wherever a school goes, development follows, because people will have to construct hostels, people will have to construct roads, people will have to be infrastructures, people will have to ensure that the internet, electricity supply will have to be there. So all these things come along with education. Boy, Moliko is what it is today because of education. Moliko is a powerhouse of higher institution. So if you take away this institution in Moliko becomes empty. That's why during the holidays, when university all state universities and private universities are on holiday, you see that Moliko in itself is kind of scanty. So it's a good initiative, and I think some journalists, majority of the journalists welcome this idea and pray that it should be, fruitful.
So it's a good initiative to move it to Akonolinga?
No, not to. I said the chiefs. No, I'm talking about the chiefs. I'm saying that it's a good initiative that journalists welcome the move of the chiefs. Not Akonolinga.
Ako, let us look at the letter. It's subject reference to the request of the elite of Akonolinga in open an annex to open an annex of the University of Buea in their municipality. The chief says, we the chiefs of the Southwest region learned with utter consternation the request for an annex of the University of Buea to be opened in Akonolinga. We appreciate the fact that the University of Buea had maintained very high standards of excellence in a very competitive scholarly world. The University of Buea focus on teaching, research and outreach has made it a true citadel of excellence and naturally enviable by many. That notwithstanding, the text, the University of Buea clearly states that it will pursue an Anglo-Saxon type of education with English as a medium of instruction. Now, does this fact deny other regions from benefiting from the creation of similar Anglo-Saxon universities, say the Central region?
Yeah, it is not. It is not. If really it should be, I said it should be at the level of the government. The state should make such policies and not being defined by a group of some traditional rulers in another region to take and overcome another university located in another region. It is but normal. If the people and the chiefs of Akonolinga had written to the Minister of Higher Education or to the head of state to create their own university, we would have been talking of a different thing here. But now coming to patch over with a university that is created in another region, and again, as I said, in a different spirit, towards an English form of a system of education, then I begin even to wonder and think that these people were not doing so in their own mind. They might have been politically manipulated. I'm telling you that within everything which is Anglo-Saxon today is being driven with a spirit in Cameroon to water it down. Where Anglophones are highly present, the government think like it is always good to mix them up. We are just talking about, we spoke sometime of the CDC, the Cameroon Development Corporation. But what many Cameroonians don't know today is that a lot of plantations are now being developed in the east. At the same time, crisis is going on, and others again in the south region of Cameroon, which is giving us an idea that coming again with this aspect of the university, it is again a step moving toward the spirit of marginalizing Southern Cameroonians. And when you look at the letters of the chiefs in Southwest have equally make a proposal that if there is a need to annex the University of Buea
to decongest,
yes, or to create an annex of that nature, it is better for it to be stationed within the same region. And I'll tell you that when you go to places like Kmer, when you go to places like Manu in Mountain, people are ready to host that university, and making it as an appeal that again becomes so enticing and convincing was that these chiefs within their demand were ready to sacrifice over 100 hectares of land for this university, meaning telling University of Buea and the behavior which equally we might have seen within the FACO chiefs, that a lot of people started tampering with university land, harvesting and selling of pieces of land within the university. That has created a continuous conflict. So if you look at the traditional rulers stepping into demand annex of the University of Buea, I will tell you that it is not done within the chiefs. If we go into the depth of this particular movement, you realize that it has been politically manipulated by the elites of particularly the elites of the South region, and their intention is that if they accept the central region, if it is agreed, then University of Buea will one day not become an Anglo-Saxon university, it will become a bilingual university. Remember, there are bilingual universities in Cameroon, and they are universities created purely in one spirit or the other. Sometime, I believe, we were told at the University of Yaoundé too that qu'est-ce que vous faites ici? Allez-vous à Buea? Vous êtes venu faire quoi à Yaoundé? So it's always an idea. If we wanted to cause havoc, some of us might have created this problem since centuries ago. But I believe there is a need for us to defend, and that if we are doing politics, we have always been instigating that government should keep education out of politics. This is the only center where we still have sincerity in Cameroon, and for the English people, the University of Buea remains that powerhouse of knowledge within the English and Anglophone experience.
Okay, we have just been joined by Dr. Lobe Edward Okole. He is the president of the National Youth Council for the Southwest region, and is present here with us for the first time on Prime R. We are glad to have you. Your first reaction to information that there were plans to create an annex of the University of Buea in Akonolinga.
You ask why am I loving to answer a question like that. I'm happy that the way some people talk, it's like they don't reason the time we are now.
Okay.
The time now is not the time we need to talk about any creation of university somewhere, of the difficulties of what we are passing within the Northwest and Southwest. We have not been able to solve a problem which is before us. What can we be talking about removing, changing university to another area? For what for? What for? So I don't believe as a youth president standing here today, I will just automatically tell them that if they are being sent by some people political, it's not correct. It's not correct. You don't need to bring things which will bring war. We are already in the war. Why are we adding war for? Why are we adding war for? If they are not be feeling the pains of where the Southwest and Northwest have been passing the pains, please let them stop it for now. So sir, I don't buy the idea for now, sir. It's not a good time for now.
So that move should not. What if the children from the central regions are also wanting to continue in this same system of education? Because the letter by the chief says Cameroon is one and indivisible. Yeah, any student wishing to pursue an Anglo-Saxon type of education should feel free to apply, as it is already the case. Statistically, the number of French-speaking Cameroonians currently enrolled at the University of Buea is at an all-time high. Most of them want this education, like the chiefs are saying. But what if they want it that it should be created also in their, say, in the central region? Yes,
it is not a bad thing. Automatically, we are not against it, but at the present moment, it's not a good idea. Even if it is something that will come in future, let us postpone it and solve what is in the ground now. And then by then we'll sit again in a meeting and bring up the idea. They cannot just sit. They need to sit with the Southwesterners and they discuss together. This is what we are planning to do. You cannot just come and impose again, because automatically, if this war is going higher, as it's going like this, it's just because people have been looking the Southwest now, the Anglophones like fools. So it's not the right thing for them, sir. And believe if they are doing this, is something they are still creating another problem.
Okay. You think, the Youth Council president is saying that the time is wrong, the timing is wrong?
I think I said in my earlier discourse that it is as if some people want to take an advantage of what is going on in the Northwest and Southwest region in order to sail through with their political machinations. I think that we need to be careful. This is increasing the thought that some people had that Francophones, they hate Anglophones because they are not interested in ending the war. What they are interested in is in the education, the continuous education of their children. Because this issue is about their children disregarding what is happening in the Northwest and Southwest region. I think that the number of universities in Cameroon are not limited. I mean, the president has the largest to create as many universities as possible. Why can't they ask for a new university to be created in Yaoundé? We had 2, and there's a possibility of even having 10. Why should it be that having taking the part of Buya to install in Yaoundé before it will satisfy some people. I think that we need to be very, very careful here. I just said that this doesn't go well. And it is, I mean, education has been politicized, and you see, when the chiefs are already at the forefront of some of these demands, shows that there is something underneath that we are not seeing, and that is why we are decrying. It should come formally. Let it follow the way it's supposed to be, the normal way, and the president could sit, or even the chiefs. Could the chiefs not come together and say that they want to open a university in Akonolinga? I mean, it is possible. We have always been saying that most of those people who have embezzled funds in Cameroon, most of the people who are wealthy in Cameroon and who are students from state funds are people from the center and the south whatsoever. They could, meet the elites of this region to be able to open a university, a private university, of course, in Yaoundé. Why must it be a state university that the chiefs they want? Can't they open a private university in Akonolinga and put in the standard that they want? I mean, you see, in Africa, and in Cameroon in particular, we think that it is a state university that, it gives us what we need, because we think that we don't, I don't know why people have the special desire for state universities. I think that even in other countries, there are private universities that excel when people want to go to private university.
Maybe the cost of their children going for,
and that is why, you see, since they are much more concerned, they should be able to open a university, and of course, if these chiefs really love they have a heart what they are talking about, let them open a university and put it. Well, now they know what it means an Anglo-Saxon university. You know why many people go to Buya? Many people go to Buya because they live in an Anglo-Saxon milieu, they live in an Anglophone milieu. They don't only get interested about studying at university, they feel that in living in that area where they are Anglophones, it is going to facilitate their learning and training in English, so that they easily absorb the classes, take the classes at University of Buya. Now when we take and go to Yaoundé, where the surrounding, of course, is strange, the surrounding is strange. How do you make this utterly an Anglo-Saxon? Because Anglo-Saxon means that, all the environment, the language, we even talk about the food that people eat. It should be felt. Let it be felt. The culture in itself, it should be felt. And then when you take and go to Yaoundé, whereby most of these things are lacking, what do you expect? And that is why I still say that there is more to it than meets the eye. Let the chiefs themselves be able to garner and open up a university in Yaoundé, and they can call it Anglo-Saxon University. And of course, their children will go there and they employ lecturers.
Okay, there are children who go there. Jarvis, the chief says for the past 4 years, the Southwest region has been passing through some challenging times aggravated by the ongoing socio-political crisis. We should avoid any action that will further complicate the present situation. Do you understand where they're coming from, that we are in a difficult situation? They are afraid that moving, creating an annex may rather fuel the already boiling situation.
You know that when the chief sent out that, I was very happy, because I told myself that finally the chiefs are up again. They are getting to the position where we expected them to, because if you see when this crisis started, they were busy fighting the land, the University of Buya, than protecting the interest of the university. I remember there was a time when we went down to University of Buya to raise an issue about the land that had already been given out for people to construct homes, and we asked ourselves, if this university is to expand, where will it expand to? And at that point in time, none of them, they were talking about fighting even about the land. Very few chiefs came to the rescue of University of Buya. Some of them just pipe low, they were muted, talked about the issue and went on, and unfortunately the land was recovered. Now they are talking about the fact that this university should not be transferred to Akonolinga. It is a laudable effort, and we should applaud them whenever there is need to applaud them. The issue here is that the Anglo-Saxon culture, it should not just be limited with discongesting the university. I'm sure Dr. Michael raised an issue that why is it that someone will study from primary school to high school, you study English language, unfortunately you fail English language as a subject in ordinary level, and you are not given admission into the University of Buya, whereas someone that leaves the French zone and comes to a crash program for just few weeks is given an admission into the University of Buya, who did not study an entire life in English English language. Now, how much Anglo-Saxon is the Anglo-Saxon university? You start questioning that. It therefore means that the university is buying the idea that if someone leaves Cameroon, that person should write a TOEFL or to write IELTS to get admission elsewhere, because you are not sure that the person studying under English. We understand that there are a lot of things that the University of Buea should do, and the chiefs should help propose this idea to the University of Buea that, okay, we want this congestion of this university. I'm happy with the choice, the divisions that were allocated. I'm happy that criminology was proposed to be given to Meme division in Kumba, and I'm happy that, you know, a department was proposed, or a faculty was proposed for Lebi Alem. You know, it gives the entire Southwest region the stake to understand that it is our university. It is not just the university that limit itself. The central administration can limit itself in Buea, like we have the insect in Kumba. You see that wherever education goes, Mr. Leo, development follows. And these chiefs now should now come back. I'm happy that they are also looking at ways where this crisis can be reduced, can be mitigated, where we can see peace. So they should not only limit themselves just to the issue of the University of Buea, they should also take upon themselves to look at other issues where they can channel their voices to ensure that we seek peace in the Northwest and the Southwest region. And if you look at this issue again of University of Buea, Dr. John Ako raised that issue, the issue of the culture in itself. Many people go to University of Buea not just because of the English that is there, or because they will study in English, but it's the culture, the Anglo-Saxon culture in itself. The fact that you get to meet a different culture, you get to meet a different environment. Now, if this university is sent to Akonolinga, there are a lot of things that we will not gain, or University of Buea will not gain. First, there will be kind of an assimilation that people are afraid of already. It will take place because how do you ensure that this culture already in Akonolinga is protected in an area where the entire surrounding is French, and you are in English trying to survive in French will not be in English will not be successful. And secondly, what becomes of the businessmen and women who are constructing cities who will be constructing cities in this area in Southwest region? If you carry it to Akonolinga, the transfer of development moves to Akonolinga. But if you carry it to Lebi Alem, if you carry it to Indian division, there will be constructions in this area, there will be roads in this area, there will be potable water in this area, there will be electricity in this area, and by default I raise the issue of rent. The issue of rent is very important. Even now, University of Buea is quite difficult to rent in Moliko because of the fact that it is concentrated. But imagine that the faculty of social and management science was to be in a different division. It means that the entire, let's say in Moyuka, it means that the entire students who are in Buea who move to Moyuka, does the rent, let's say we have 500 rooms already for faculty and management students in Buea, that 500 room will be given to Moyuka, those who have 500 room vacant, and the prices will reduce for those who are already in Buea. So I think that we should not start looking at the economic cost too.
We should look at the economic cost.
Mr. Leo,
yes.
Maybe as Jarvis was talking, I begin to wonder what happened to GTHS Ombe.
Okay.
A lot of people have not remembered that if I listen very well, the last speech of the vice president of the vice president of this nation, John Gufoncha, told us the history and how Ombe was watered down for Polytechnic Yaoundé. And when you look at again the police school academy in Motengene, it's not just a picture of itself, and you talk of the police academy in Yaoundé. I'm just telling you that and when we talk of the power cam, we know what happened to the Yoke dam when we brought AES Sonel. All these plants have been destroyed because the first or the second annex were opened in French Cameroon. What becomes of the grants that were made to open? I mean, the Ombe, GTHS Ombe was known to be the first university for Southern Cameroon. And when Aijo witnessed the growth rate and the technicians that were being groomed and grown in Ombe, he felt it to open Polytechnic Yaoundé to the detriment of Southern Cameroonians. And I'm telling you that today when we speak of Ombe, you need to pass around the walls to see what culture represented some 50 years ago and what has been reduced of Ombe today. Then we move back to the other part of the territory and see Polytechnic Yaoundé, which has now a standard of a university. Then they made a lot of proposals, which will mean that a lot of money, I believe within the speech of John Gufoncha, he said money was given by the United States government to develop technology between Ombe and the University of Technology of Michigan. And I'm telling you that all this, after the transfer of Polytechnic or Ombe to Polytechnic Yaoundé, all this partnership were given off. And it began to give us a lesson that if we decide to have the annex at Akonolinga, time will come that the university campus of Buea might not just exist. It might not only function, but will have a reduced administrative needs. It will reduce the economic needs of that environment, and what we call the Anglophone university will totally just be a representative of itself. You know what UB represent today, and I said when I pass at the gate of GTHS Ombe, I have that feeling that something is missing in the southwest region. A lot will tell you that the machines that were sent by Canadians to help this university develop were all packed and boggled at night to Yaoundé to create the Polytechnic in Yaoundé. And where are we? How many Anglophones the lecturers have developed from Ombe? How many technicians from Ombe in the past, and what it represents today? How many technical schools do we still have that will measure the standard at Polytechnic Yaoundé? This might happen to Buea. There is a great point, like I said, that it might just be one of the steps as they use the same instrument to destroy the power camp and the Yoke Dam, as they destroy the police academy in Mutengene. This is another time they're about destroying the most prestigious Anglophone university. Okay, and we must need to be very careful.
The Southwest president of the National Youth Council, did you call a meeting when you got this information, like the chiefs are talking? Have you made a statement, or you are still deliberating? Have you spoken to the youth of the Southwest region? What are they saying?
We are organizing a conference.
Okay. That
will take place on the 26th of this August. These are the things which are coming down on this very conference that the youths are going to sit on. That is why, Mr. Liu, I will just tell you, please, let us not just be adding more flame into fire. Because what the youths, they know, the country know, the president knows what is happening in the country today. So I am just telling you that the idea is good but wrong at the time that it has come down. And even if they are talking about anything like university transfer, they should not touch anything from Southwest now. It's not the right thing. It's not the right time. They should not touch nothing, sir. If this country needs peace at the moment, sir, they should not touch nothing from Buea. Just like my doctor have just been saying there, counting things one. This is what has been provoking fire in this country. It means that an Anglophone is not more recommended in this country. Why? Why are they looking at us as fools? What is the problem? What is going on? Are they trying to, if I am standing here moving since we have been moving up and down in order for peace to reign. Where are they adding more problems where we need peace? Say, Mr. Leo, the idea is a very wrong idea, sir.
Yeah, but have the youth themselves, have they looked for means to meet the Senate, or maybe the Vice Chancellor, or write to the people in Yaoundé that this move is not very good? It is actually playing against the efforts you have been making to ensure that peace returns.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm saying that we are holding a meeting, a conference. On this conference, we are going to make a delegation that will go to Yaoundé. That the plans of what they are doing today is not a good thing. You cannot just stand in 1 second and create 2 people to go and meet the delegation in Yaoundé. The executive need to, the national board need to organize those who are going to meet the people in Yaoundé and to present not only talking and a letter that what they are doing like this is not a good thing.
Yeah, but when we look at it, I don't know who takes this one. Is this they say it is a request from the elites of the municipality of Akonolinga? Is it true, or is something? Is it that the people of Akonolinga badly needs an Anglo-Saxon university, or it is something that is hiding? It's a masquerade that is sent out to announce something behind.
I think that I said this before, and I said there's more to eat this than meets the eye. I don't know that's what I mean, because actually. Is it that somebody badly needs the Anglo-Saxon education for the people, or particularly for these children of this particular village? Let me call it a village. Not even for the central region, eh? I mean, because yes, municipality of Akonolinga. Is it that somebody badly needs an Anglo-Saxon university in this area to take care of the education of the children there, or is it actually that somebody is acting on you? For another person, to trigger something? Let me tell you, when President Pobia went for another mandate in 2011. It all started like a joke, you know. Some people, because actually it wasn't supposed to go. Then it triggered somewhere in Santa, and somebody just got up and said, oh, okay, this is our president for life. And it was like, it went up, it started like a joke, and people just took it as we are talking about the Boya affair, you know, I'll call name the Fonjindams. They started like a joke, and then before you understood it, it had gone viral. And then it was not from him. It was actually from some people who came through him to propose that. And they wanted to see the reaction of people. Remember that in Cameroon, there was always that issue of seeing the reaction of people before something actually being implemented. And let me tell you, when it is like this, know that it has already gone very far. It has gone very far. And it is a fact, because you see that what is happening is, it is like people are already saying that, we are talking about inseparable Cameroon. And people are saying they are already tapping bit by bit from the Anglo-Saxon education, so that when it happens tomorrow, they will not be baffled. That is what some people have started saying. But then, they should create something new. They should not be tapping. They should not go creating more confusion. Because we have realized that where Anglophones are excelling, where Anglophones are comfortable, is actually where there is fuel. You see, starting from the Shadow Federation that in the 1960s, that is how it happened. And after, when they saw that maybe the Anglophones were comfortable with that piece of meat, because I call it a piece of meat because it was not actually anything for the Anglophone, it is when they took it up from there. Now, when they see that anything is functioning well for the Anglophone, you know, most of the banks in Cameroon, in West Africa, as we called it, those banks are in power Anglophones. We have names like the Tashas, the Kilos, and all those people. Those people who were actually empowered economically. It is when the Francophones actually saw that these people are becoming more powerful, and that one of the things that is making them powerful is the economic power. That they have the banks that are functioning so well, they crumble all the banks. And now they left Anglophones with nothing. It is as if they don't want us to excel in anything. The University of Buea, at least has in the ranking in Cameroon, has been one of those universities that has been having a world view, you know, a world concern. And of course, since they have seen that
they're not destroying the University of Buea, they're just creating an annex.
No, that is destruction. Let me tell you what is going to happen afterwards. Are they going to employ much more lecturers to go to Yaoundé and lecture? Because this is going to create another problem. If this works, it is going to create another problem of what we call the financial effective. Because tomorrow they will say, okay, these lecturers are not here because they are in the other campus. It is, we are only seeing this from our own myopic point of view, but there is more to it than meets, as I've said.
Mr. Liu, if you see the said request from the elites of Akonolinga, he raised the question as of if this elite don't have the address of the Ministry of Higher Education, if they don't have the address of the President of the Republic of the State, or the President of Cameroon, where they can, of course, sign the motion of support as they do in most circumstances. Why would this same elite want something as that important to be done, passed through by the University of Buea, which is just under the Ministry of Higher Education? That is to tell you, to confirm with what Dr. Dimancho said, that there is something behind that's coming, because we've seen elites, if they have genuine concern, they meet authorities that be. They meet the head of state, they meet the Ministry of Higher Education, they meet the Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic to say, hey, we are proposing this, because remember that state has its own policy for education, and now the University of Buea is under the Ministry of Higher Education that follows principles and guidelines set aside by the Ministry of Higher Education. Yes, the Senate makes decision or proposals, and when the Senate makes proposals, to fully implement this, the Ministry of Higher Education must give it okay. It's like for private universities that have their main campus in Morocco, for them to move to a satellite campus in Douala, the higher education or the Ministry of Higher Education must give an authorization that we are authorizing you to move to this level.
The Boyakali University has
we have an authorization to that, and that was due to the crisis that occurred in the early 2017, 2018. So the students could not cope. So we brought in that system and we maintain them.
Maybe that is why the parents of
no, Mr. Liu, I'm telling you that if they want that, they should write to the competent authority. And just to let you know that that request will not only end at the level of UB, the Senate will just deliberate and send proposals to the Ministry of Higher Education. I'm confirming to what Dr. Dimanche is saying, that there is something to it that meets the eye, because it's the Minister of Higher Education that must give an authorization before it is even transferred to Akonolinga. Thus stating that there is someone hitting the drum somewhere far, and UB is dancing to the tone while waiting for the right time, and the chiefs have the right now to put that and to stop it, because if that is not done, like what is happening in CDC now, Dr. Ako John Ako raised an issue. Plantation has been, there are plantation being developed in other areas of the country, and CDC is creeping and crawling, and very few elites, even the chiefs themselves, who should be fighting for CDC, are now kind of still playing hide and seek game, because they are benefiting from the land that CDC is not, it's not producing. So you see they have gone into some of the land, and they are instead struggling to get the land. But what if they channel the same effort to CDC and other sectors? So to tell you that someone is beating the drum, because it would take the Ministry of Higher Education to do the approval, the University of Boya Senate cannot do it.
Yeah, but let's look at it. What would actually motivate this appeal for the creation of an Anglo-Saxon university in the center region? We have the University of Yaoundé 1, we have the University of Yaoundé 2, SOA, and the South region has another international university.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, that is what I was saying here, that the people of Akonolinga are feeling like they have already been cheated with the various thousands or hundreds of universities at the central region, and that asking for another university which will be purely francophone or francophonie character is going to disturb the ministry to approve that. So to them now to ask for an Anglophone or an English university to be stationed in that particular region is going to move very fast. That's why we said this action is not the action of the traditional rulers, it is the actions of the elite from Akonolinga, whom they know. Like I said, there's a University of Yaoundé 2, Annex, in Ebolova, and there is University of Yaoundé 1, whom we are equally thinking, why not ask the Annex in Akonolinga? And we know that when we talk of congestion, the university in Cameroon, one of the most congested university in Cameroon is the University of Yaoundé 1. And we cannot even say that. When you go around the campuses of the University of Yaoundé 1 and the student quarters, that whole student, you feel like there is a need to even bring down the whole quarter and construct. Was it not a good opportunity to move it down? Good! And Akonolinga has enough land that could host even 3 faculties from the University of Yaoundé 1. It would have been completely welcomed by the state. But what I'm saying is that they were short-sighted, not going by this, knowing that the central region already hosts. There is also that University of Evangelist University of Konsande, which is equally state, in fact, one of the most powerful universities. There's Protestant University in Yaoundé. The University? Yes, in Yaoundé. So then you already like asking them. The Siantu, they're all
ICU.
So then asking for another university to them, and Anglo-Saxon University would have been like, they are promoting. If you see there in their letter, that Cameroon remains one and indivisible. So the English character coming to the central region will make the nation indivisible. But I've said it is a lie. If they are coming at the time when the country is already under a curse placed on Anglophone Cameroonians by the Francophone government that has been in power for 60 years. And we of the present generation will not let things go this way. I believe very strongly that if the elites of that region still believe that they need to host a university, they should write their letter straight to the Ministry of Higher Education demanding for a university. Remember, there is something that was written by one guy whom I admired, Charles Tebaene, before dying said, le paradoxe des pays organisateurs. The most of the Southerners and the Central Region people in the past have been feeling like when you own a political position, it is time for you to feed your family and yourself, and then you people go away. Now they begin to see that absence of infrastructure can be a problem. In the absence of the present political organization, they might lose everything. And that's why you see, even the port of Limbe, we are not talking about that. The port of Limbe will stand to be more natural, and I'm saying it with more of authority, that the plan to construct the Limbe deep sea port came in before Kribi, but that plan was at 1 late hour shifted to Kribi, and now Kribi, which is artificial. I saw the number and tons of stones that were thrown into the sea to shift the water. In Limbe, we don't need all that. The Limbe deep sea port is at the foot of a mountain. We instead need to cut and bring down the mountain to enlarge the port. These are some of the advantages which we are thinking that we're supposed to have. A lot of dams have been constructed in French Cameroon. None is existing in English Cameroon, though with so many natural resources to generate electricity. And now again, it is the educational system. They should stop the maneuver, and that we are seeing it. If they decide to do it now, the consequences is not what we are going to talk here again. The consequences may, if not today, in the near future, we will feel it. The University of Buea should be expanded within the region, if need be. But if not, I know very strongly what the government, like Javi said, that the manpower, first of all, is a problem. Most state universities lack teachers. That is why we still have Cameroon remains one of those countries in the Central African region with 1,000 students in one classroom. It doesn't happen again. If there is a need, I mean, the University of Yaoundé one can give a helping hand to the people of Akonolinga to decongest not only the campus, but even the student quarters where they live in Yaoundé. It's one of the poorest student living environment in Cameroon.
Okay. Now, the President of the National Youth Council for the Southwest region, some persons, I will quote somebody who wrote to me. She is asking, her name is Tang Emerentia, who is asking me why we have not seen the creation of annexes for EMEA in Buea and Eric, Enam, and also others.
Those are questions that is even unable to answer them over the air, but with wisdom. Those are the things 2 days ago I was with the Prime Minister.
Okay.
And then I raised a question like this. When we look at things happening, they only talk about peace, but we don't see anything that can bring peace within the Southwest and Northwest. There are many positions which they're supposed to bring among these places, but they're not sending. And you are talking about peace, but yet we are accepting peace because of the people dying. If not so, we may not even talk about it. So if we talk about, the Prime Minister answered me, yes, the problem what is on now, because I was also proposing what you have just asked, Mr. Leo, that there should be something created like ENS in our Southwest, and that should be created in Northwest. Those two things were automatically showing that Cameroon is one, an individual that they are talking. But if these things are not moving the way we want to see them, then it is true Eliza. Because these are they fighting our own university. Our own university that from generation was given to us. Today they want to remove it. Whereby we are passing through peace. Maybe this thing is trying, the university, if people are seeing the university is even bringing peace to the region. Now they are trying to add more flame into the fire, sir. So I believe, let them also create. What I answered, what the Prime Minister answered me was that there are things like that that the head of state is planning to do. We want to see them. Okay.
You want to see them. But, yes, yes, you want to see it.
I am talking as a president, so at least that is what I will tell. I'm here standing as the president, all the region, and I'm representing them here. So I want to see, so I'm aiming as the president. I want to see those things before we are going to say true, Cameroon is an indivisible country.
But the chiefs have reacted. You say the youths are going to have a conference on the 26th.
Yes, sir.
Of this month.
Yes, sir.
Would you have loved to hear also from the political elites of the Southwest region?
Well, automatically, when we come on board that, you know, when we talk about peace, we are technically, those things need to be closed down.
Okay, yes, okay, since you will not want to answer that question. Yes.
Yeah, I believe we have said in bringing a nation, in building a nation, Cameroon being one, there is a need to join forces. And one of the things which we have seen, when we talk of the elite of the Southwest, the elite of the Southwest has become a CPDM maneuver. And most often you find them wearing the uniform they call the YCPDM. And they feel, and they have been thinking, that they think better than we do. When we started the crisis in southern Cameroon, he will believe very strongly. One of the points was that there are some ministerial positions that were not occupied by Anglophone Cameroonians. And I would say on that very positively that President Paul Biya has made a step in appointing sons and daughters of this region now into those positions. Territorial administration, which is even held by those who criticize the struggle, are now sucking the fruits of the struggle. And again, the Ministry of Secondary Education is equally now being manned by a Southwesterner. And those are some of the things we are saying. But it is funny in infrastructure. The development in human resources, like we do with political appointment, is not the same with institutions. If we would have reinforced PowerCam, it would have reinforced the Yoke Dam. I believe today the Southwest region could not be crying for electricity. Where I come from, I'm coming from Manyu Division and in Mamfe, electricity is at times, by God's grace, twice a week. And this is because electricity being transported from Edea to Mamfe. Imagine electricity being generated from the Menchum Dam. We will know the greener, the nature, the natural endowment of this particular dam. It's not even found in any place. I've not seen it yet. Even where they talk on Bang and Kimlom, Banga and all the like, I have not seen the beauty that is found in Menchum Fault represented in any of this area. But since it was an Anglophone project, they will tell you that UNVA, like he said, that the head of state is looking into that. That is the political solution which we have been waiting, and it is not coming. We think that if this country is really one and indivisible, Emir should not be located in Yaoundé. Boya was the capital of southern Cameroon. If Boya hosts Emir, it will be equally good. If not, they should send us a NAM headquarters in Boya. That is what we talk about the indivisibility in the nature. Because we should know it. Yes, the head of state, remember, when we celebrated 50 years, in his speech, he said he knows that Boya was once the capital of Cameroon, and Boya was the capital of southern Cameroon. So what is in Boya now? The University of Boya, the loan issue we're having, take it out of Boya. CDC is going. What people don't know, like I just said here, is that plantations have been developed now that we are talking in the east and the south. There is no interest that the government is going to bundle money to revive CDC. All will be fake. And I'm telling you that the plantations in Jobe Penja will be advanced because they are in this area. So we should just start looking very well that the government of Cameroon being sincere and honest for 40 years. President Projet has been in power. One of his highest victory is that the Anglo-Saxon culture has been weakened, and that will continue. If this is again another stage, we will try to voice out. But then I remember sometime I was taught in human rights that freedom of expression is what we know, but freedom after expression is what we don't know. What we say here, if it doesn't impact decision making, then we are just killing ourselves. It is like throwing water on the text back, and tomorrow again we'll say the same thing. Let's get the mention down, equally developed. Let's get Emir located in the southwest, not transferring Mutengene to Yaoundé.
Okay, I asked earlier on about the political elite of the southwest region. Is it time for them to also push what the chiefs are telling the UB administration?
The political elite, I think that is a very, very hard one too. Because when we talk about the political elite, on what side of the mouth are they eating? That is one of the issues that we should be looking at. Because you will see that most of these things, they will not cry foul, but within themselves they feel it. They will not say it. And that is the kind of politics that we play in Cameroon. People don't play honest politics. They will leave the youth to actually sing and talk about these things, but from the background they are just watching, you know, because one person, somebody is afraid to lose his own cake or his own share of what is coming from Yaoundé. And that is where the problem is, because actually knowing that even universities in Cameroon are granted through political maneuvers and whatsoever, they were the first to have spoken, because we have heard other people speak in the other areas in Marwa. We have heard people speak. Even before Bamenda came, it was through a political actually demand that Bamenda came. And that's why Paul Biya in Bamenda, when he visited Cameroon during the Cinquantenaire, one of the major sentence that gained a very, very high applause was the fact that he was announcing the creation of the University of Bamenda. And let me tell you, that was a very, very long struggle before that announcement. And therefore, you should know already that all these things come through political means. And when these things are happening the way they are happening now, and the politicians are not saying anything, then you begin to wonder for who the politicians are working. Now, we are looking at this very, very lackadaisically, that, okay, it is just Annex that is being taken to Yaoundé. Let me tell you, at one moment, you will be the main campus that will be in Akonolinga. Let me be very careful. We have seen a lot of untold funny things happen in Cameroon, and we take like a joke. And that is why, yes, I want to believe, I don't know what the Southwest youth, are you a political? I don't know, but how can you be a political? Because if you leave the politics and you say you don't want to mingle yourself into those things, you are like the chichidoros. Of course, and we need to be very careful when we become chichidoros. We have to say it and say it outrightly. The youth, you should call, and I think that the politicians of the Southwest region should be called to order, and names should be called. We have heard, like the Southwest chiefs who came out and made a statement about the empty basket of the regional, what they call a dash, the regional dash and whatsoever, and the politician came out to condemn and to counteract the same day to counteract. Is this politics? Is this actually politics that we are playing? So if somebody should do that, it means that you see how egoistic, how self-centered we are in playing this politics. And therefore, in moments like this, I think that it is time for all of us to bury some of those things down. Even the politics that we play, it is time to bury it and come together as a united force. If truly those who fought for the University of Buea to see the light of day in 1993, there are many who sacrificed their lives. Many people lost their jobs. Many people went through suffering. All lost their eyes and whatsoever. Remember, this thing started with multipartism in Bamenda. It is a long story, and for people to play some kind of hanky-panky with it today and feel as if they are taking position because of what they are getting in Yaoundé, it is very, I think that is all the Anglophone should not stay indifferent to this issue. Everybody has to call it the shot and say that it is not correct, and that actually, rather than taking the Annex to Yaoundé, we are rather asking for more to be added to the Anglophone region, because we need more. Remember the revendications of the teachers and the lawyers. All has not been fulfilled. But of course, I know Dr. Aku has talked about some of those few things that have been given a minister. But for what purpose is that ministry given to somebody who strongly fought against the Anglophones having their rights? He was given the Ministry of Territorial Administration and the Ministry of Secondary Education. It is not even manned, it is woman in that ministry, because we have found a lot of issues that are not favoring the Anglophones, and we think that we need to put things straight and let politicians sit up.
Yeah, you have something to say? Yeah?
Yes, on that one about elites. When we talk about elites, Mr. Liu and the rest of the doctors that we are here, elites are light. If we follow that you are an elite, the elites of the Southwest, and you become following politics without telling the truth, it means you are darkness. You don't speak the truth. The effect of you being as an elite is because of you are coming from a tribe and you are coming from a region. For you to develop your region and not to demote down your region. So if our elites of the Southwest are coming to demote the region, that is not correct. We should not hide behind politics. We should not hide behind politics. And they say we love politics or we love our country, but whereby we hate our country. It is true for the elites to sit wherever they are sitting. All of us are elites. They're not only the who are elites, all of us are elites. We should speak the truth and tell the truth that we are all CPDM, or generally whether you are an SDF, we are ruled by CPDM. So we are all CPDM. But are we not going to speak the truth? Should we continue dying like this without telling the truth? So if the elites are wherever they are sitting, hiding on where they want to do that, they want to miss the ditch, and their own division or their own region is dying, that is not correct. It's not correct, sir, Mr. Liu.
Okay. Yes.
You asked a very important question. In fact, the issue here is, if you look at the elite, they will tell you that their hands are tied, and they will tell you that it's on issues like this, the head of state is working on it, and you will see. But they will go around and tell some few young men, when I go talk this thing, when I go talk this thing, when I go talk this thing. But they cannot come and talk. However, there are still some few elites in the Southwest region that are very vocal, that have been able to speak the minds of the people. I quote, for example, Senator Mbelamoki Charles. He is one of those elites that will always come out and if it's red is red, if it's blue is blue, if it's black is black. And he has always been firm. And I'm sure that in the days ahead he will make a statement as far as this Akonolinga issue is concerned, because he's someone that has never for once stood quiet when wrongs when things are being done which are wrong. But however the case is, with the other elites that we have three categories of elites in the southwest region. We have elites that are affiliated to investitures. We have elites that are affiliated to the party itself in power, and we have elites that are affiliated to the people. Now, the people who are causing these problems are the two categories of elite: the elite affiliated to investitures in Yaoundé, and the elite affiliated to the party hierarchy. When I mean by investitures, I mean those elites who feel they have.
But are elites limited to politics?
Mr. Leo, the elitism in Cameroon has been limited to politics, especially within the northwest and southwest region. If you look at the other regions, the 8 regions, there are elites within the CPDN system who still kick against things that are wrong in their regions, especially those in the northern part of Cameroon. You see that they will kick against it, even in the west part of west region of Cameroon. They will kick against it if it's against their region. But in the northwest and southwest region, they feel like it is a privilege to be given whatever they have. So it limits themselves now to a level of investitures, those who they think they have political godfather within the party. So you allow yourself on what your political godfather says, don't speak, you don't speak, which you are supposed to speak. And now you allow yourself to things which feel, okay, you have another godfather in Yaoundé, which is not your political godfather in the region. So that clashes is fall within the line. So we have this three category of elite: the elite of investitures, the elite who have direct link with the president of the presidency of the republic, and the elite who want to stand with the people. And the one who want to stand with the people are few. We have Mbelamoki and Tabo Lawson and just a handful who can speak and say what it is. So I believe that it is time for this elite to look beyond, to think that they will come back home for retirement. One day they will come back home. The same traffic that is holding us in Douala is the same traffic that is holding those who are gone on retirement, who could have solved the situation. So at a point in time, they have the free leverage to move without traffic, but they will come back home and experience the electricity epilepsy that we have in Moliko. They will come back home and experience the inadequate water supply we have in Moliko. They will come back home and experience the insecurity that we have. They will come back home and experience the untarred road that they have from Malingo Street. Okay. So they should not feel that because they are where they are, they will not feel it. They will feel it.
Good evening, Mr. Leo and the panelists. Wonderful you guys have there. A special regards to Dr. Ako. My heartfelt condolences, sir, on the demise of your lovely wife. We have missed you here a lot. Prince Nzikum is writing from Sweden. Mabison writing from Kumba says, Doctor, accept my sympathy. Good evening to you, Mabison. Esther writing from Kumba says, Doctor, accept my condolences. Okay. Daisy also writing from Kumba says, good evening, everyone. Okay. Emil writing from Jotin says, the show is hot. Okay. Emil says, Asha, to you too. Okay. You had something to add, Doctor? Or?
Yeah, I believe I equally duly appreciate all the messages and what we have been doing. I said I equally felt their absence, because we are not doing this because we hate Cameroon. We are doing this because of the passion we feel for motherland, and I believe very strongly that the authorities that be will take appropriate decisions. I just wanted to add something. I spoke some time ago in 2018 about Senator Mbelamoki Charles, but I'm telling you that even right in the Senate, he's one of those people they are still telling that he's still very young to talk some issues when it comes to Anglophone politics. And a lot of the old guns, which I know very well, we can remember well, that one of the elders within the House is my chief from Manthi, who formerly was equally a managing director at Euro Oil. Today, Mfota Betando can speak for the whole Anglophone Cameroonians, but we cannot find him again because all of them, they went to the Senate to lobby for positions. And most often, people have learned in this country that those who fight the CPDM or make good recommendation within the CPDM are always blacklisted as blacklegs, and they have always sidelined. That's what happened with somebody of the Pa Ayapo Labine. They were all kicked off because they were not, they said they don't respect party politics, and they talk along the lines. This is again an aspect that is making the Anglophone crisis in its 6th year. This particular issue has not been drawn on the agenda of the National Assembly or the Senate. It is a pity for us to come at one point. I think that we have an elite. The elite of the Southwest and the Northwest regions are people who move in thinking that they have spent a lot of money during campaign, they have lobbied a lot for this position, and they will not risk their position, and they have never loved to risk for their position. It gives us the idea that politicians are simply a group of armed robbers, like you see Bishop Nkia told them in Yaoundé, in Boya, some time ago, that the other people who call them scammers are using internet, and that the highest scammers we have are politicians. This is a direct example of the Anglophone elites. The elites whom we see them only when elections are present, only when they wish to condone with another, or to support the CPDM. But if it is for the people, what benefit the people, you hardly. Like he said, during the creation of the regional council, there was a member coming out to speak out clearly that what they call the regional council is just a paperwork. There's nothing here. We cannot vote the budget of the Northwest region within 48 hours without even knowing the content of what has been voted. And that paper that came in was not even drawn by them. And people still said we should support it. Elites are meant to be for the people. Politics, when we talk of the grassroots, now we are talking of decentralization. Decentralization will not work if those who are voted by the grassroots cannot support or give account of grassroots initiatives. We will always continue to salute. I sincerely thank the effort. You find Senator Mbelamuki equally very highly on social media. At times when he doesn't have time to go on TV, he expresses his voice over his various platforms. And this is what we are thinking the elites of that region should do presently with the annexation of University of Boya. After the annexation of the Southwest region, the Anglophone Cameroonians will be the annexation of the University of Boya. Okay. Quite a pity if the members of the powers of the lawmaking body cannot come out with a single movement.
Good evening, Mr. Liu and other panelists in the studio. I am watching you guys right from Mokolo in the Far North region. I'm Kong Wilson Bankse. Good evening to you. The problem with some of our elites is that they can't separate their political leanings from the role they play in their community. Some Southwest elites are a failure. This is coming from Eswa Kisito, who is watching us from Boya. He is the president of the Southwest Youth League. We also say courage to you for organizing the tournament that is ongoing that started yesterday out there in Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. Please keep on. It's Tumasang writing from Ntwabu in Mankon. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Mr. Moka from Tico. These people just want to take away every good that is the Anglophone have. For if the Anglophones want to go, they will be left with nothing. Okay, Jean-Pierre from Yaoundé says the marketing board was transferred to its debt in Douala. The reserves were used to build the Madou Ahijo Stadium in Yaoundé. The Cameroon Bank was equally transferred to Yaoundé, where it met its planned and plotted demise. The UB was earned through blood and tears. Jean-Pierre, good evening to you, writing there from Yaoundé. Good evening to you all. Why can we not have just transfer to use? I don't know. These guys have taken a lot from us, and these things that has happened this week has made me to believe that those who have said Cameroon should go into right. Okay. Not so clear what you're writing. We were deceived in the 90s, but we can't be deceived now. Okay, she is writing from Sancho. Mr. Kum, the idea is good, but the atmosphere is bad. Mbu Zakari is writing from Vikovi. Jakiri, that is in Bui division. Good evening, Mr. Kum. It's too bad for the government to do such. Why can't they create a university in Kumba and other places in the Anglophone regions? No, they should not just think of such. Call for an inclusive dialogue. That is what the people want. Timbise Roland Jibili is writing from Douala. The letter from the chiefs reads that the Southwest chiefs during one of our courtesy calls on the Vice Chancellor on the 8th of August 2020, that was last year, proposed the decongestion of the University of Boya. We know how difficult this process entails, as most faculties, colleges and schools are interconnected and share common facilities and resources. However, in order for the people of the Southwest region to have a sense of ownership and belonging, we propose the following decongestion format. Faculty of Agriculture, Ekonotiti, that is Indian Division, Fisheries and Maritime Studies, Limbe Faco Division, Higher Teachers Training College, Bangem in Kupe Manenguba Division, School of Mines and Geology, Manfred as in Manu, School of Pharmacy and Pharmacopoeia, in Menji, that's in Libialem, and the Faculty of Engineering and Cyber Criminology in Kumbameme Division. But when we even start thinking of transferring, decongesting the University of Buea, is it so developed?
That is one of the issues that I raised, Mr.
Someone wrote to me when we're discussing this, I'm sure it was in our forum, where he said that that is how the GBHS Mbengwi was destroyed, because people came from left, right centers that they needed schools in their villages, their backyards, and that's how the GBHS was abandoned.
Exactly, and that's all. And I will talk about GBHS Mbengwi. It was one of the reference GBHS that we had in the whole of Northwest region, and why not even in Anglophone Cameroon, with a dormitory even, and I mean it was a school of reference. So I think now you now see what is happening. It is now a war of chiefs. A war of chiefs. Meanwhile, the chiefs of Akonolinga in the small locality are trying to call the shot. Now they are the chiefs of the Southwest region now who have come together to be able to, I call this an education to the University of Buea, because they are now telling the University of Buea, if you didn't know, this is how we can decongest the university.
No, they said they made this proposal in 2010.
Of course, they are of course, this is something they are reiterating also up to now. And they are, it's a reminder to University of Buea that if you didn't know that if somebody should come from somewhere very far to come and tell you how a university should have an annex somewhere, go back to the letter that the chiefs wrote to you, and you will know that the chiefs gave you a lesson that actually, if you have a problem of space, we have enough space in the Southwest region that we can be able to allocate to the University of Buea. And I talked about the issue of, I call it effective, of lecturers and whatsoever, because it is a very, very big issue in Cameroon. We are not able to manage the universities in Cameroon. We are not able to manage the lecturers in the University of Cameroon because we are always lacking. And then somebody comes surfaces from somewhere else and he wants to tell us how we should be able. I don't know whether they are into the state, the Ministry of Higher Education to know how these things are run. So I think the University of Buea should go back to the letter or to the advice of the chiefs of the Southwest region and be able to look into that. This is also like a reminder, because the University of Buea is not even supposed to make this public. They are supposed to have this as a reminder of what the chiefs of the Southwest region told them, that the University of Buea needs to be decongested. This is a reminder this year from this letter from Akonolinga, from the chiefs. It's like a reminder to them to know that they can decongest this university and then spread it out to the Southwest region. Since we have known that it's a cake that the Southwest needs to eat from, and every division should be able to have part of that cake, it should be distributed as it is, and that cake is only meant for the people of the Southwest region. That cake shouldn't cross the Mungu River. That is what I think Foncha came back to his statement, that how happy are we to meet our brothers east of the Mungu. I think that before his death, happily he came back to that statement, even though not overtly, but he outwardly made us understand that these people didn't mean well for us, because the happiness that they had in meeting these our people who are not even happy having us. I think like the writer, I think Victor Ipiengome, who has written what God has put asunder. I think that we should begin to revise some of these things, because there are warnings, there are signposts that we should be able to learn from, to know that these people, we have in the Northwest and Southwest a problem of health. We have problem of food with a crisis. Why can the chiefs of Akonolinga not even carry food stuff from their own day and bring to the north, to the Southwest region, and tell their brothers, the chief, please, we are one and indivisible Cameroon. This is what we have brought for your children, because we have seen how you are suffering. So the only thing they think that they can commune with the people of the Northwest and Southwest region is to come and get their own, to decongest the university. We have healthcare. Why can they not ask Yaoundé to increase the number of healthcare depots in the whole of Northwest and Southwest region, to show that we are one and indivisible, and that we are each other's keeper? We have a lot of things that we can take care of, that how we can show interest to our brothers and sisters. I think that this is a mockery, and I think that it must end.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is the best program I have ever watched in my life for the past 30 years of my life. I'm a kind that never creates time for TV, but now I create time for just to watch your program. Thanks very much, sir, for giving us the youth, the young people, hope of the future. Thanks for to all those in the studio. I'm Stone at writing from Douala until I even videotape your program on my phone every day. Okay, Stone, glad to hear that. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your panel today is very powerful. Accept my heartfelt condolences, Dr. Ako. Admire your objectivity. From Prof. Abanda Gustavo. Good evening to you, Prof. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm sure the next year they will also transfer the GCA board to Yaoundé. Mr. Liu, let's start fasting. Michelson is writing from Lagos in Nigeria. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm so great. My wonderful program with your panelists, especially Dr. Ako, John Ako, who is digging out the truth so regards the topic, and do extend my condolences to the loss of his wife. You guys keep it up. I'm writing from Bangam. Yeah, my next question will go to you, the youth president for the Southwest region. The chiefs, rather we the chiefs of the Southwest region believe that while thinking of the request of the elites of Akonolinga to create an annex of the University of Boya in their municipality, Senate should first consider the previous request of the chiefs of the Southwest region towards the decongestion of the growth of the university. That is, they should first think of the Southwest region.
That was very good answer. If the people are proposing that they should take our university, and then the chiefs also are threatening to the state, they should answer us first. To increase our university, we are lacking a lot of things inside. That one has not been answered, but they want their own to be answered. The chiefs have asked something, let them answer us. So they cannot be coming now for their own to be answered while our own has not been answered. So let the council or the parliament, let the Senate answer us. And when they answer us, the other time they also will come with their own proposals.
Yeah, but is it not also intriguing that the chiefs are saying that they made this proposal to the vice chancellor in August 2020, and that already this was supposed to be deliberated.
Yes.
The Akonolinga issue was supposed to be deliberated on the 20. The Senate of this month.
It was July. The Senate of August.
Of August.
Yes,
they are going to discuss the possible creation of a annex in when the chiefs had made that same recommendation or request.
That is total confusion. That is the way they are coming out to close our own proposals, and that is what they have always been doing. That any time that we bring proposals, they bring their own other ideas to close our own. Because I cannot be the first person to propose something, then you come and jump now to be against my own proposals for your own to be answered.
But who do you blame?
Mr. Kum, the issue is to answer that from my own perspective. I just come again to say that someone is blowing the trumpet somewhere and someone is just dancing, because if you see the chiefs had made proposal before Akonolinga, so by default it's first come first serve. Out of respect, the university senate was supposed to have sat and looked at the request of the chiefs. Looking at the request of the chiefs is not a guarantee that they are going to give a green light to it or not, but just discussing it and deliberating on it, it shows good faith, and it shows the respect of custom and tradition, and it shows the respect of those who command the Southwest region, who always come and give their libations. The chiefs in the Southwest region, especially those in Fako division, they have been limited in their role in the University of Boya to be just members to come and give libations. That's why you see when events are coming up, the only time they will know the chiefs is just come and give libations. But when the chiefs took it upon themselves to say, okay, let us go beyond, let us show these people that okay, we are fathers of the region, and propose that our illustrious divisions in the BLM and in other Kmer, they need this university. They need to fill this university. It was not even tabled on the Senate agenda. It tells you that it is Yaoundé that calls the shot. You don't need any soothsayer, you don't need to throw any dice on the floor to know that it's Yaoundé that calls the shot. If not, this would have featured on the deliberation of the Senate before Akonolinga, or both would have featured on the deliberation of the Senate. If not of this Akonolinga, we wouldn't have known that the chiefs had made such a request for the university senate to see of possible ways of decongesting the university and bringing it to the other divisions of the southwest region. I'm just surprised that if not of this, we wouldn't have known. And Dr. Hako is knowing it because the chiefs wrote and said we had requested this. If Akonolinga had not come, we would not have known. Which is telling us that it is someone in Yaoundé, somewhere, blowing it and saying that, hey, people should discuss it. Secondly, if we look at this issue of decongesting the university, yes, the university needs to be decongested, but decongested to where and how? Decongested to other divisions, and coming out where we need decongestion. Yes, we need decongestion from ENAM, we need decongestion from EMIA, we need decongestion from even the top presidential position like the presidency, the Secretary General, the presidency of the Republic. We need that office to be decongested since Cameroon is one and indivisible. We need a lot of decongestion in Cameroon. But the chiefs in Fako or in the Southwest region, I want to plead that they should not just end at the level of calling for decongestion only within the division, the FACO, the other division in Southwest. They should write an appeal and send to the President of the Republic, begging the President of the Republic that, mindful of the fact that Cameroon is one and indivisible, mindful of the fact that we are chiefs of the Southwest region, mindful of the fact that we are citizens of Cameroon, mindful of the fact that we are peace-loving people of Cameroon, we will plead His Excellency that ENAM should be decongested and sent to Southwest region. EMIA should be sent to Northwest region, such that we will say that we cannot be proud on saying that Cameroon is one and indivisible. That is the kind of mindful we should be expecting. Other mindful that we should be expecting is mindful of the fact that electricity supply is epileptic in the Southwest region, mindful of the fact that electricity supply is epileptic in Northwest region, and mindful of the fact that we have Mention 4 that can supply not just only the Cameroon itself, can be exported to Enugu, to other regions of Nigeria. Nigeria is having problem with electricity, and we are crying that we need money in Cameroon. We are borrowing money from IMF. We should be exporting electricity to Nigeria, and Nigeria pays us. So mindful of that fact, Menchum should be developed. So these are the mindful we expect from the chiefs.
Good evening, Mr. Liu Saleh from Mutengene. The process that the president spoke about in Paris is not yet abandoned. Okay, good evening to you, Sally. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please let Yaoundé University 1 and 2, Douala Changaoundere, be given annexes in Kamer. Banso Manfi, Dian Bafut, Ma Evelyn Su is writing there. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm really enjoying your program. Special good things to your no-nonsense panelists. They really have constructive and educative ideas. I wish the program be extended till midnight. Tamvu, also writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I really enjoy your program. Dr. Ako John is a blessing for us. I am Mr. Kingsley Ndiwa, watching from Libreville in Gabon. This one says, let them transfer the whole university. Enough is enough, Mr. Liu. Okay, we'll transfer it to where? Okay, the maker says, good evening, lawyer panelists. The conceiver of this idea, creating an Annex of UB in the central region, is having a hidden agenda. Our Southwest elites should get up from their phantasm. Okay, the issue is, like you raised earlier on, creating an Annex in Akonolinga may not be a problem, but why not just create a different university? An Annex of UB, could that not also trigger the subsequent transfer of some key elements? And you talked about maybe the vice chancellor one day moved to Akonolinga.
Yeah, but that is what I told you, that when they transferred the police school, it was annexed in Yaoundé. The Mutengene Police School, which was a reference, became an annex in Yaoundé, and today it is a main campus. People instead leave Yaoundé to give lectures in Mutengene. Now, if they are going to create an annex in Akonolinga, one of the things which we ask is whether the Boya University has first of all been developed before being decongested.
Yeah, that is the question I asked.
If it is not developed, what are we decongesting? That is another worry. Could we not create a university for Akonolinga? I'm telling you, like Javi said, even Dr. Antimacho, we know very strongly that being at the level of the rectorate, I mean the vice chancellor of the University of Buea, the letter from the Southwest chiefs is on his table, and that instigating, I believe, even the ministry is aware that the Southwest chiefs have asked for decongestion of the University of Buea to other divisions in the region, and that it can still be considered, that it is important, and that the people of Akonolinga will not and might not have a university because of the other university existing already in the region. They should come forward. That's why I was saying that there is a political manipulation of the traditional rulers of that part of the central region trying to answer the same agenda. If the other letter, the other chief's letter was neglected and the other not called on the agenda, and today those who just applied this same year, the issue is brought on the agenda of the Senate, then the powers behind that point to be placed on agenda is more than the powers of the Southwest chiefs. And that's just what it is. Nothing will be discussed by the Senate of the university without a prior instruction, maybe from the Ministry of Higher Education, otherwise we call them the Chancellor of Education. So it is just what it is, that the elites of Akonolinga, which if we want to get into details, we might even cite some of them here, but it is not necessary for the purpose of this program, that Southwest and the elites should know now that presently Cameroon, which we propagate as one and indivisible, is Cameroon with divisibility. Because what the elites are presently doing is to divide the Buea University and make it part. Like we just said here, not only one school has been taken from Buea. You see some people crying online that there was Southern Cameroon Development Bank, which does not exist. There was one Cameroon Marketing Board, which does not exist again. There was WADA in Menchum. It does not exist again. And I talked here of GTHS Obe. Go there and see it for yourself. It's a pity. So it has been reduced to nothing because the one Polytechnic Yaoundé and all those are now the one training. We need to look into it. Do we really need to decongest Buea? Is there really an agenda that we should decongest Buea? From what are we decongesting when some faculties have not even been created? So what are we saying? They simply just tell us that there is a creation of another faculty in Manfi, and the Manfi people too will be very glad to see that the host part of that university in Manfi, rather than taking, even looking at proximity. When you look at the distance between Buea and Akonolinga, and Buea and maybe Mudemba, or how can I call it, Indian, or whatsoever, you will imagine that there is need to build Buea strongly within the region which it has been inserted. And if the government of Cameroon is sincere, that particular point on the agenda of the University Senate should even be discarded by members of the Senate as something that is not supposed to be discussed within that particular board.
Muhammad writing from Yaoundé says, good evening, Mr. Liu and co. What a great program. I think the creation of UB in Akonolinga would be dream come true for those of us who were pushed out of Buea due to the senseless and useless gun battle. Forget about the political chiefs. I have not seen a university and its annex in the same region. Each is Soa annex in Ibolova, Ngaundere annex is in Garua. Okay, good evening to you, my friend. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Eju Bertrand writing from Yaoundé, Southern Cameroon is under the process of colonization. Okay. Hello, Mr. Liu. Good evening to you and the rest of the panel. Some people have seen the Anglophones as fools. They should just transfer southwest to Yaoundé. Opening UB Annex in Akonolinga is not enough. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I do extend my condolences to Dr. John. You guys cannot imagine that South region was a newly created region, and it is having a reference hospital now, while our two regions have none, and so many others are francophone brothers. Okay, I'm Eric writing from Bomenda. Good evening once more, Mr. Liu and the other panelists in the studio. I left to me the so-called ENAM should be closed up. It's making the Faculty of Law and others in the university very useless. Thanks for your educative program. Okay. Good evening to you. Kobe writing from the United States says greetings to you all in the studio. Accept my condolences, Dr. Ako. God give it and God take it. Okay. The government should not pivot away from the real issue at hand. The segmentation of UB is a distraction. Not only Southern Cameroon institutions need segmentation. The parliament needs to be segmented and sent to Boya. Jam is writing from New Jersey. Okay, this one says, students left in Kamer to Yaoundé for university education. They couldn't think of creating University of Yaoundé 1 and 2 Annex in Kamer to limit students traveling over long distances. They just need University of Boya because they want all for themselves. Yombo Jeremiah is writing from Yaoundé. Now we are left with 10 minutes of Doctor. After this letter from the chiefs, what should follow so that what they are advocating for actually makes sense?
I think what should follow is that we need to know, of course, those who make up the Senate in Boya, because there has always been this cry that most of these Anglophone universities, we call them Anglo-Saxon universities, but actually those who are behind the decision making are not actually Anglophones. So we need to be very careful. I know of 2 universities in Cameroon whereby you don't joke with the people who come from those regions. I know of the University of Mchang. Who are you to come and impose to the people of the West at the University of Mchang? It is an open, actually, practice that we know that University of Mchang, I mean, if you have to say anything, you must be from the West. They have even threatened other lecturers who come and ask them to keep quiet when they come to University of Mchang. That is a fact. I know of the University of Marwa. Who are you to come to University of Marwa and want to say anything? I mean, that is what the Anglophones are lacking. And I think that one of the things that we need to do is that we need to come together as an Anglophone community. The problem is that we are fighting against ourselves. Even as lecturers, we fight against ourselves. And an issue like this, I think that even the lecturer, the fight was supposed to start from the Anglophone lecturers day in that university. But unfortunately, the fight is being taken up by other people, I mean, the chiefs and all the other people. I think that the first people to fight about, because those who know what is happening on the ground are the lecturers. They know exactly. I remember one UB vice chancellor who lasted for a very, very few months, who was called Cornelius Lambi. And of course, this is the man who wanted to fight a kind of a practice that concerns the medical school, whereby they were talking about regional balance and some of those issues. And this is somebody who fought vehemently and wanted to actually put things in their normal way. And he lasted very short-lived, very ephemerally. So I think that what should be done is that, first, the lecturers of the university who are Anglophones should actually raise up the issue and should be able to coach, I mean, with the Senate to come out with a concerted decision and a concerted other action to write against this. Of course, this is part of defending the Anglophone culture, because all of us are called to defend culture.
Please, Mr. Liu, let them send a name to Mwa Onkambe. Okay, please, Mr. Liu, John Tiku, I really love the show. What I just have to say, we need to fasten our belt because the days ahead we are going to weep. I think everyone knows that we are not okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Kudos to you guys. I'm watching from Swiss. Brilliant program with brilliant ideas. Okay, the government will never get tired of suppressing Anglophones. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Patrick. Only the blind Anglophone still fail to read the handwriting on the wall. Writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I can see this is pure selfishness. These people stole the University of Arts and Science Technology Bambili to create National Polytechnic. Yaoundé then gave us a CAS Bambili as a GHS. Now they are coming for UB due to its output and beauty. Abanda Thomas writing from Marwa in the extreme north. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Liu. We are all for the development of Cameroon, but the development should not be with bias. Mr. Liu, do people know of this SCDP, but it's not in the northwest and southwest region? This is Mbacha Nelson writing from. What should follow?
What should follow immediately after this is that there should be a committee set up by the chiefs to meet the Ministry of Higher Education the days ahead, because I believe, and they should.
Chiefs, why not the political elite?
No, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I believe that the chiefs know and should know that it is not UB that will take the final decision if it's to be sent to Akonolinga or not. And if they should form a committee and meet the Ministry of Higher Education and meet the Prime Minister of the Republic, who is a colleague of theirs from the chief's perspective. And secondly, the political elite in the region, and I know Senator Melamoki will be one of those to react. They should keep aside their political affiliations now. They should look at the future of the university, the future of Anglophone, and they should ask themselves, what will history be, what will historian put when it comes to the next 10 years about their achievement? Because they will go on retirement someday, their grandchildren will go will be active at the point in time when they will be powerless. What will they say that they did for them when they were at the position? Because history will judge them whether they like it or not. So the political elite should come together as a team and they join the chiefs and they should write a motion, a strong motion. I want to tell Muhammad from Yaoundé, we are not talking about creating an annex in the different divisions in the southwest region of the country. We are saying that sent department or faculty should be sent. It's normal, like in Nigeria, where one faculty could be in one local government area, another faculty which is totally independent is in a different government area, another faculty in a different government area, such that it's spread across. It reduces even the issue of courtism, it reduces the issue of strike, it reduces, because when everybody is in one campus, it's easier for strike. So Muhammad should know that we are not talking about annex in divisions, we are talking about removing faculties to divisions.
Okay, we wish we could have Professor Cornelius Lambi again. He was a father. He published the medical exams before time, and when the list came from Yaoundé, names appeared on the list which never sat for the exams. Okay, we loved that father. Okay, good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I really pity Anglophones in this country. God is watching. Kmer is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to the panel. This is not the first infrastructure they have transferred to East Cameroon, and when transferred it becomes history. Our elite should rise up now. I'm Richard, writing from Munyenge. Good evening to you, Richard. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please extend my condolences to Dr. Ako, John Ako. May God of heaven comfort him and the children that his wife left behind. May the angels of the Lord be with him. Amen. Okay, doctor has received your prayers. Stop calling, please. Good evening, Grand Liu, and good evening to all in the studio. We are getting used to the system, and we are always ahead of them by knowing their moves. The government should come out clear, and let's hope they will soon create Sonara and next. Let us also hope the chiefs will remain consistent in their fight. Joe Samson is writing from Yaoundé. Tell the chiefs, you guys are organizing a conference, and there should be a synergy amongst the chiefs, the youth, and the political class.
Yes, Mr. Leo, for my saying is that together we stand, dividing we fall. This is a time that the elites and the chiefs need to come back together, build knowledge together, realize what we are passing through. It was maybe if they were using political ears to hear that sometimes people were against political parties or what was happening, is a lie. Let them use their eyes now to see what is happening, because before they discovered, they will even take our toilets. So it is time for we to combine ourselves together, to stand one firm, and to write a better letter sent to the or a delegation. We march from here after this conference. The youths and the chiefs and the elites will sit together, build up a delegation that will go to the Prime Minister. Why not to the President? Why not to the Minister of Higher Education, and to ask what is going on? Because I will still repeat by saying that this is not the real time. Even if they were to do anything, this is not the real time that they were supposed to come with any idea of removing university from where. So, but when we unite, we are going to do something better, sir.
Okay, please stop calling. When you call, it actually disrupts the program. Stop the calls, please. Elvis writing from good evening. Mr. Leo, please, that should not be a bone of contention. Yaoundé, one should be decongested. Salt should not be added to the poorly manage injury. When the only one was the only university, the Anglophones asked some colleges to planted in English region, the government should focus on our problems. Anya is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu, dear panelists. What is it this government thinks the Anglophones are? How many Francophone state universities are represented in the Anglophone part of Cameroon, if not ENS, when we did not have any university in Bamenda? Even if the government wants to test the waters, must it be at this period of the Anglophones crisis? The Francophones all know that the academic industry of Cameroon is in the northwest and southwest, because the climate is not favorable for them to risk their children studying there. Rather than solving the crisis, it's better they form annexes in French regions. Who does that? Herman is writing from Douala. Good evening to you too, Herman. Elvis Brown, writing from Shell Newbell, says, good evening, Mr. Liu, and you all in the studio. Happy to see you back, Dr. Ako John Ako. Sorry for what you went through. It's Elvis. Good evening to you. Elvis, good evening to you all at the studio. I do really enjoy your programs, Mr. Liu. Talking to the creation of UB Akonolinga Annex will really be a big blow to Anglo-Saxon University, system of education. This goes a long way to show that our brothers from the French-speaking parts of the country have not learned any lessons from the ongoing crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Thus, that's okay. Judbun is writing from Bunaberi out here. What should follow this meeting, this letter by the chiefs, and then the youths are having a conference, and then what should we also observe?
Yeah, one of the things which I want all southern Cameroonians to know, the people in the northwest and the southwest region, is that there's even no time. I believe the youth president is saying that it is not time. We don't even need to have any time. Even if Cameroon was peaceful, the University of Boya remains an Anglophone-oriented university and should not be transferred to any area whose operation and working language is not English. And secondly, I believe very strongly that we don't even need to see anything, that the agenda on the Senate, I said the points should not even be discussed, and if it should be discussed, it should be considered first. If we want to do that, we look at the letter of the Southwest Chiefs and give an eye into it rather than this particular second letter from the chiefs of Akonolinga. One of the issues which I've said, and Cameroon should remain a model, is should make Cameroonians feel, and that Cameroon should not be propagated as one and indivisible. Cameroonians need to feel it. We need to feel Cameroon as one, and it's rather than giving reasons for people to move apart. And this, I'm saying, will continue to fuel the crisis. Remember, the things we just cited here are what Southern Cameroonians have been quiet for over 50 years. And when they bundled them out in 2016, we are now solving a crisis which still has been given what I call perishable solutions without its quarters. We calling it the strongest of these dons. As I said here, there is one of the dons. I talk of the former Prime Minister, Peter Mafani Musonge, whom I believe equally, if their voices are added to this particular time, will change a lot of things on the ground. I'm equally talking of Mfota Betando of Bachontai village. He can equally change the stakes of things. We need those people who have been talking and gaining the positions and making the money out of the system to equally come out and support the plight of their people. And if this is done, I believe we will be very proud to see that the decongestion of the University of Boya will not only go to Akonolinga, but to the various divisions in and around southern Cameroon.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Matrix writing from Nigeria. The government should know that when injustice becomes law of resistance, becomes a duty. Why this one says, why should the idea even come up? There is no right time for this agenda, whether now or after the crisis. Pepsi is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm really enjoying the debate, especially when I'm listening to Dr. Ako and Mr. Jarvis talking. I'm very sure that the next few months you will hear Northwest, Southwest Annex in Yaoundé. Mr. Messiah listening from Bamenda, my 3. This one says, good evening, Mr. Liu. Please help me ask him what will he take as a drink this evening, because I'm feeling the guy, Leonard, is writing from here. Mr. Jarvis, I owe you 1 bottle. Okay, this one says, I think we should not open UB Annex Boya. University is the best because it helps people who are Anglophones and makes learning easy. Sandra is writing from Boya. Stop the course. Okay, before we go, I'll send these special greetings to you. Mata Meni watching us from Sosoliso in Boya. To be precise, and all of you watching us from that part of the country, and those of you watching us from the northwest region, especially to the powerful audience that is watching through Facebook and other social media handles. We also want to say thank you to you, Dr. Ako, for coming.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine, and once more again, I would equally like to extend fervent greeting to the President of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
Thanks so much, Mr. Leo. It's a pleasure to be here, and of course, to be able to share our own points of view. Thanks once more, Dr. Aku, for meeting you again, and it's been a pleasure. I think that a luta continua.
Okay, thank you for coming, Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Good evening to the Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor of the Catholic University of Boya, and of course Professor Victor Jos God, the President of the Catholic University Institute of Boya, who just opened the Bonaberi Douala campus at Ancien Road behind Lycée Bilen Polyvalent, where admission is ongoing.
Okay, Mr. President of the Southwest National Youth Council, Doctor, we're glad to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. And I want to wish anyone who have given ears to hear us, and I want to encourage all the Southwest youths to understand that nobody is removing university from Boya. It's a gift that has been given to us, and we remain over it. Thank you, sir.
You keep it jealously.
Yes.
Okay, thank you to you all who watched the program, especially to you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.